Imagine a fortress, seemingly impenetrable, its walls towering high. This is how we often picture a company, with a strong economic moat, a sustainable competitive advantage that protects its profits from rivals. We pore over the numbers, the profit margins, the return on equity, seeking reassurance in the cold, hard data. But what if the walls of this fortress are not as solid as they appear? What if there are hidden cracks, unseen weaknesses that could crumble under pressure? In the world of investing, an economic moat is your shield, your safeguard against the unpredictable storms of the market. It's what allows a company to consistently outperform its competitors, to generate superior returns year after year. But too often, we fixate on the quantitative aspects, the metrics that are easily measured and compared. We celebrate high barriers to entry, strong brand recognition, and network effects, ticking boxes on a checklist of seemingly unassailable strengths. However, relying solely on these quantitative measures is like judging a book by its cover. It's a superficial assessment that fails to capture the nuances, the complexities, the hidden vulnerabilities that lie beneath the surface. This is where the concept of qualitative moats comes into play. These are the intangible, subjective factors that contribute to a company's competitive advantage, things like management quality, corporate culture, and innovation. But here's the rub. Qualitative moats are notoriously difficult to assess. They require critical thinking, a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom, and a healthy dose of skepticism. And that's precisely why they are so often overlooked. We become complacent, lulled into a false sense of security by the seemingly impressive numbers. In this video, we are uncovering the hidden truths behind wealth accumulation and what's really driving the market. We will delve into 5 often overlooked blind spots in qualitative moat analysis, weaknesses that can expose your portfolio to significant risks. These aren't obvious flaws. They are subtle, insidious vulnerabilities that can easily be missed if you're not paying close attention. So, challenge the consensus, find your edge, and prepare to critically examine the very foundations of your investment strategy. Are you truly seeing the whole picture, or are you blinded by the illusion of invincibility? Blind spot number 1. The innovation mirage. We often hear about companies lauded for their groundbreaking innovations, their disruptive technologies, their game-changing products. Investors flock to these companies, eager to ride the wave of innovation to untold riches. But how much of this innovation is truly sustainable? How much of it is simply a fleeting trend, a shiny object that distracts us from the fundamental business strengths? Consider the cautionary tale of Kodak. For decades, Kodak was the undisputed king of imaging, a leader in innovation with a portfolio of patents that seemed impenetrable. Yet, Kodak ultimately fell victim to disruptive innovation, failing to adapt to the rise of digital photography despite having invented key components of the technology itself. Kodak highlights the first-mover advantage myth and teaches us that being first doesn't guarantee long-term dominance. Execution and adaptability are crucial. The truth is that innovation, in and of itself, is not a moat. It's a necessary ingredient for long-term success, but it's not a guarantee. To determine whether a company's innovation is truly a sustainable competitive advantage, you need to dig deeper, implement a trend validation checklist, and ask yourself, is there a real customer adoption rate? Are there real barriers to imitation? Is there scalability? And, most importantly, is there long-term relevance? Don't be seduced by the allure of the new and shiny. Focus on the fundamentals and ask yourself whether this innovation truly creates lasting value. Innovation is a powerful force, but it can also be a dangerous illusion. Don't just invest, understand the why behind every decision. Blind spot number 2. Management's vision. We often place immense faith in the pronouncements of a company's leadership, captivated by their charisma and inspired by their vision for the future. But are we truly evaluating their competence, or are we simply being swayed by empty promises? Management's vision guides the direction, but their competence determines the safety of the voyage. The story of Enron serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of blindly trusting management's vision. Enron's charismatic leadership masked deep-seated accounting fraud and unsustainable business practices, ultimately leading to the company's spectacular collapse. The halo effect bias teaches us to avoid attributing unwarranted positive qualities to a company based solely on the CEO's perceived brilliance. To avoid this trap, apply the management integrity test. Does management have a consistent track record of delivering on promises? Is their communication transparent and honest? Do they allocate capital prudently, focusing on long-term value creation? And, perhaps most importantly, do they demonstrate ethical behavior, especially when under pressure? Don't be seduced by charisma or grand pronouncements. Look beyond the surface and assess management's competence, integrity, and track record. Remember, a ship is only as good as its captain. Is your diversified portfolio truly diversified? The captain's vision may set the course, but their competence determines whether you reach your destination safely. Blind spot number 3. The brand loyalty trap. We often equate strong brand recognition with enduring customer loyalty and pricing power. We assume that because because a brand is well known, it automatically translates into a sustainable competitive advantage. But is this loyalty genuine, or is it simply habitual inertia? Brand loyalty, like comfort food, is familiar and comforting, but not always the most nutritious or sustainable option. Consider the fate of Blockbuster. Despite its ubiquitous brand presence, Blockbuster failed to adapt to changing consumer preferences and the rise of streaming technology. They teach us that assuming that strong brand recognition automatically translates into enduring customer loyalty and pricing power is a mistake. The status quo bias shows us customers stick with familiar brands out of habit, not necessarily because they offer superior value. To truly assess a brand's strength, you need to measure true brand equity. Look beyond simple brand awareness and delve into metrics like Net Promoter Score (NPS), customer retention rates, willingness to pay a premium, and brand advocacy. Are customers truly passionate about the brand, or are they simply sticking with it out of habit? Don't fall into the trap of assuming that brand recognition automatically equals brand loyalty. Dig deeper and assess the true strength of a brand's connection with its customers. We're uncovering the hidden truths behind wealth accumulation. Is it real affinity or just a comfortable illusion? Blind spot number 4, switching costs. We often believe that high switching costs protect a company's market share, creating a formidable barrier against competitors. But are these switching costs genuine or just perceived friction? Switching costs, like golden handcuffs, are seemingly valuable, but ultimately restricting freedom and innovation. The decline of BlackBerry serves as a cautionary tale. Initially, perceived high switching costs, such as the learning curve for new devices and the integration of BlackBerry's services with corporate systems, protected their market share. However, BlackBerry ultimately failed against user-friendly alternatives like the iPhone, which offered a superior user experience and a wider range of applications. The endowment effect shows us that customers overvalue what they already possess, even if superior alternatives exist. To accurately assess switching costs, analyze true switching costs. Is the data portability easy? How is the integration with existing systems? What is the learning curve for new products? Are there contractual obligations? Don't overestimate the barriers that prevent customers from switching to alternative products or services. Dig deeper and assess the true cost and inconvenience of switching. Challenge the consensus. Find your edge. Are they genuine barriers or just a comfortable illusion? Blind spot number 5, network effects. We often believe that a growing user base automatically creates an impenetrable competitive advantage, a self-reinforcing cycle of growth and dominance. But are these network effects truly self-reinforcing, or are they vulnerable to disruption? Network effects, like a snowball rolling downhill, gains momentum quickly but can be easily diverted or melted away. The rise and fall of MySpace serves as a cautionary tale. Despite its early dominance in social networking, MySpace was quickly overtaken by Facebook due to superior features and user experience. MySpace teaches us that assuming that a growing user base automatically creates an impenetrable competitive advantage is a mistake. The critical mass fallacy shows us that network effects can be fragile if the product or service fails to evolve and meet changing user needs. To assess network effect resilience, analyze user engagement metrics, innovation rate, competitive landscape, and ecosystem strength. Is the user base actively engaged, or are they simply passive participants? Is the company continuously innovating and improving its product or service? How strong is the competitive landscape, and how robust is the company's ecosystem of partners and developers? Don't assume that a large user base automatically translates into a sustainable competitive advantage. Dig deeper and assess the true strength and resilience of the network effects. What's really driving the market? Are they truly self-reinforcing, or are they vulnerable to disruption? So, we've journeyed through 5 critical blind spots in qualitative mode analysis: the innovation mirage, management's vision, the brand loyalty trap, switching costs, and network effects. Each of these represents a potential pitfall, a hidden weakness that can expose your portfolio to significant risks if left unexamined. Don't just invest, understand the why behind every decision. Remember, the key is to combine qualitative and quantitative analysis, weaving together the objective data with the subjective insights. Numbers tell a story, but they don't always tell the whole story. You need to dig deeper to understand the underlying dynamics that drive a company's success or failure. It's about adopting a skeptical and critical mindset, challenging conventional wisdom, and seeking independent verification. Don't simply accept what you're told at face value, question everything, and demand evidence. As Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, wisely said, the intelligent investor is a realist who sells to optimists and buys from pessimists. This principle applies directly to qualitative mode analysis. Seek out opportunities where others see only risks or limitations. Identify companies with truly sustainable competitive advantages, businesses that are built to last, even in the face of adversity. We are uncovering the hidden hidden truths behind wealth accumulation. By sharpening your qualitative edge, by learning to see beyond the surface, you can gain a significant advantage in the market. You can identify undervalued companies with durable moats, businesses that are poised to generate superior returns over the long term. But remember, the journey to financial mastery is a continuous process of learning, adaptation, and critical thinking. It's about constantly refining your skills, challenging your assumptions, and seeking new perspectives. So, as you venture forth into the world of investing, armed with these insights, ask yourself, are you truly seeing the whole picture, or are you still blinded by illusion?